Welcome to the show. Today, I'm very excited to have my colleague, Laura Adamson, here from Purple Frog Systems. Welcome to the show, Laura.
Hi Lewis, thanks for having me on the show. I'm really happy to be here to get a chance to discuss everything Microsoft Fabric with you.
As Laura said, the topic of today's show is all Microsoft Fabric, how we can adopt it, what the business benefits are, and how Purple Frog Systems can help you get there. So let's start with the basics. Laura, can you explain what Microsoft Fabric is?
Absolutely. So, Microsoft Fabric is an end to end data analytics platform. Everything is on one online website where you can access your data engineering, your Power BI, which is for your reporting. You can access real time analytics and AI as well, all in one place. And it really helps you bring together your data engineering, your data transformation, storage, all of that. And it's a brilliant tool by Microsoft, which allows you to access that all in one place, so you don't have to constantly switch between tabs, different software, working out integrations and things like that.
So that sounds great, but how can businesses actually benefit from Microsoft Fabric?
So businesses can gain several key benefits from Microsoft Fabric. Obviously, having a well-structured data analytics system and process will enable you to make better decisions through your data. But Microsoft Fabric actually enhances that and allows you to have real-time analytics, which gives you information and allows you to action on your data immediately as you receive it. But also it has AI enhanced data decisions through machine learning and algorithms. On top of that, Microsoft Fabric also reduces data complexity by having all of your data in one place in a way that's easy for everyone to access and understand.
So I can see there's a lot of business benefits to using Microsoft Fabric, but how can Purple Frog Systems help businesses adopt Microsoft Fabric?
So, yeah, we can play a crucial role in a business's adoption with Microsoft Fabric. At Purple Frog, we have spent a lot of time with hands on experience with Microsoft Fabric and kind of know the ins and outs of how the system work. And we can bring that expertise to your business and cater to what it is that you need when you're making your data driven decisions. We have our own approach that we take. We've built our own framework and have a structured approach to the way that we set up your data engineering, your data transformation, and reporting. And no business is too small or too big to do this. We can work with very small businesses. It might just be you and you want to report on what you have, but we can also work with large corporations and we adapt this package on what it is that you need. So, Microsoft Fabric, as I've mentioned, also has machine learning and AI. But obviously, we have Lewis here who knows a lot more about that than I do. So, I'm going to hand it over to him to kind of discuss the machine learning side of Microsoft Fabric.
So yes, that's a good question, Laura. Machine learning it didn't used to be, but is becoming a bigger factor in Microsoft Fabric currently. As we see stuff like AI tooltips coming in, Data Wrangler, the Copilot autocorrect suggestions in your notebooks. But the big advantage to me of what I'm seeing for machine learning use in the Microsoft ecosystem with the adoption of Fabric is the Unity. Laura spoke about this already, but in the Synapse world, you'd have your Synapse Studio, Synapse Workspace, where you're doing your data engineering, and in a separate space used to be the Azure ML Studio. You'd have your models, you had your kind of workflows, you had your endpoints, and this all lives in Microsoft Fabric now. So everything's done in one framework, all your experiments in one framework. It makes it much easier to manage your machine learning workloads. It makes it much easier to use your models, and it makes it much easier to see how much you're using resources. So, kind of to sum it all up, Fabric is making machine learning more accessible and easier to use. Right, so that's enough from me talking about machine learning again. I'll ask you another question, Laura. Could you give us an example of how we might implement Microsoft Fabric for a business?
Certainly. So, my example would be we would work with a manufacturing company. They would have machines and production lines, they would have orders coming in and things being shipped. They would have their staff and also what those staff have as resource and what hours they're working. And so what we would do is help bring all of that data into Microsoft Fabric into one central location. We would help transform and clean that data to make it accurate for reporting. And on top of that, build the reporting layers. And some of that may incorporate the real-time analytics that I was speaking about earlier, where we report on that data that's coming in as it comes in. Another thing that we would do on the machine learning side of this would be machine vision, where we can monitor the devices, for example, the production lines, and we can infer things like the throughput, monitor where there might be an error and the machine would break down and take those actions before it becomes a problem.
So it's clear Microsoft Fabric can have significant impact on businesses. But before we wrap this up, Laura, could you give any advice to businesses considering implementing Microsoft Fabric?
So my advice would be to assess what you currently have for data management and data analytics. Specifically look at the challenges that you're facing as a business when it comes to your data analytics and reporting, and assess what it is that you would like to gain from Microsoft Fabric, because obviously you can just click and use any system, but it's making it work specific to your business needs where you'll get the most value from it. And obviously partnering with Purple Frog Systems, we can help you build that system, the processes, and use our expertise to help you unlock more for your business.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on today, Laura, and sharing your insights. It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you for having me on the show, and it's been absolutely great being able to discuss Microsoft Fabric with you.